What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Views from Build. We're right where we left off with a half-sunken boat trying to unsink it. We've got the pumps running. We're getting the boat floated. Hopefully, in today's episode, we're going to find out why the boat sank, find out what it takes to stop it from sinking. We're going to get fully floated and assess some of the damage. It's actually, as I speak, it's sinking a little bit more. Little background on this. This is an imported Italian yacht. It's called a Riva Tropicana. A very, very fancy yacht company. A couple 4th of Julys ago, a couple years back, I decided I really wanted a yacht. So I went and I found this thing out in Seattle. I test drove it. I bought it. We got it shipped here to Portland in this marina right here, where we used it. We enjoyed it. We took it all the way out to the ocean, 100-mile journey out to Astoria, out to the Pacific Ocean. And on the way back, we blew up one of the engines. We then decided to pull out the old, outdated engines and put in brand new Texas Speed LSX engines. We repowered the entire boat. Had a bit of a short season with the boat. Enjoyed it though. Got it back to the marina here, where on my birthday, January 18th, I get a phone call that your boat has sunk. In the last episode, we assessed the sinkage. We called a salvage crew and we started pumping the boat out of the water, and that leads us to where we are right now. The boat is crested around the outside. We're pumping all the water out. As you pump the water out, the boat should float. We are not currently beating the leakage amount, meaning the boat is leaking just as fast as we are pumping. Even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pumps actively pumping, the boat is leaking. And I'm not sure if that's because of different vents that we have or if there's something we don't know about, but that's the next problem to figure out. Trying to get this diver right here to start plugging our side vents that are right under where he's at right now. There's a side vent there and there's a side vent there. And those are gonna be letting water flow in as we're pumping it out. So we're just staying very neutrally buoyant. We're gonna work on getting those figured out and plugged. So hopefully the pumping will show some results. Oscar, I gotta say, our tabletop still looking good. Before we jump into it, quite literally, I want to take a second out to thank our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by Marvel Strike Force. This game is every comic book fan's dream. Marvel Strike Force allows you to pick from heroes and villains to assemble the ultimate team to go up against enemies and fight in breathtaking strategic battles. You can choose your RPG squad of powerful Marvel superheroes and supervillains in a fight to save the universe. You can mix and match characters from all corners of the multiverse for an experience unlike any other single-player games. And you can outfit and upgrade your Marvel superheroes and supervillains to become even stronger. You can strengthen characters for specific single-player game modes or to dominate across every battle. And you've got to get strategic. Who you bring to the fight matters in this game. You want to pair up specific heroes and villains and squads to form synergies to take out enemies, and you want to utilize the RPG fight tactics during the 5v5 battles to dominate the greatest villains of the Marvel Universe. And you get to play through a visually stunning mobile gaming experience, leading your favorite Marvel characters in this superhero game. The world of Marvel has never looked so good in a single player game before. So guys, I urge you to go check it out. Use the QR code that's on the screen right here, or use my link in the description. And for a limited time, use the promo code CARDS, that's CARDS, to unlock the character Gambit and extra resources, including 500 power cores and 5 premium orbs for free. Thanks to Marvel Strike Force for sponsoring this episode. Let's get back to it. Starting to get the side vents plugged up. Got another block of foam under here, so I think if my math is right, we have 17,000 pounds of lifting force, which is, I mean, the boat weighs 26,000 pounds, so it's close to the entire boat. And we are currently plugging the vents, so that vent's getting plugged, the other will get plugged, and then we should be able to pump out the cabin area pretty quick. Or that's not the cabin, we'll call that the deck area. We'll be able to get that really quick. I apologize for our solo camera angle. This camera right here is doing all the work. We've got to stay out of these guys' way. They've got a very important and dangerous job. If these airbags go, it can be really dangerous. The boat can sink again, land on the diver, stuff like that. So we got to stay out of their way, let the professionals do their job so we don't put anybody in danger. As soon as BS for Boat gets picked up by the Discovery Channel, we'll get all those angles for you. Okay, we're getting the back out of the water with those holes plugged. The deck is getting out of the water, so now it's time to start looking at the cabin. We're gonna try and get that cabin door open. There it is. And yeah, now that we got the cabin door open, we can start running the hose into the cabin door, and that's gonna really start getting stuff out. We're gonna start, sooner than later, we're gonna find out where the leak is coming from, because that's gonna be the part that's gonna be put on the most fight. But so we're trying to start right now we're pumping from both areas. The cabin is still at such an angle that it's leaking into the deck, but for the first time, you can actually see the back of the boat out of the water, which is pretty promising. So most of the through holes are either right here in the back where the raw water comes in, or they're in the toilet where the toilet pushes out. One of these things, I'm guessing, had a frozen pipe that burst. So once we start getting through some of this stuff and getting it visible, then we can start to see what's leaking to try and plug the leak and then float the rest of the boat. But it's coming along. It's crazy to think that just this morning this was all that was showing. It looks so much more boat-like now. Whoa, one of the blocks just shifted. Oh, the lift bag just changed. Just totally sent the boat in a different direction. We need to get the front of the boat out from under the dock as well so we don't do too much damage to it. I'm taking a quick break from the pumping because the front of the boat is stuck under the dock. Let me see if I can show you. It's stuck under the dock there. And that may be keeping us down. The front's still way down. It's got a lot of water in it. It's kind of weird. The boat looks like it's in a better spot than ever. And I mean, it technically is, but we have to keep in mind too, it's a lot heavier than it's ever been. So it's a little bit weird, but we're going to try and work the front out without breaking the whole front of the boat off. They've got a winch over there. We're going to winch on it and try and tug it. Oh, good. No damage at all. Fantastic. Oh, it's gonna float away. It'll be in Lake Oswego before you know it. So you can see all this is flowing out of the, can you see that? There you go. See, the cabin is now flowing out to the back deck. I think if we empty out the cabin, it's gonna float the whole front of the boat up.
I don't want you to do that either.
Oscar's turning on hoses on me. Anyways, looking good. Looking good. We're back to pumping now. Free lunch.
Doritos. Give me my boat shake.
The Doritos last. He doesn't know how long food lives on our boat. Those could be 3.5 years old. Yeah, why not? We'll have a ceremonial chip.
Still good.
They're still good. Oh, look at that. Doritos. Shipwreck proof. So we're pulling water out faster than water is coming back in for sure. It's really tough to know what is going on, but the front is starting to float. Now the front cabin, I think I probably already mentioned this 2 or 3 times. The front cabin is separated from the engine. So if it's gonna start to tell us where the leak is pretty quickly. If it's in the engine compartment, that's gonna keep leaking and the front cabin will lift all the way and not fill back up. If it had something to do with the bathroom, then it's gonna be over here. But it's weird that it's on that side of the boat is still low, but that just could have to do with where the different bags and the different systems of flotation are on this thing. I got really no clue, but I do know it's coming up out of the water. It's just very slowly, but a couple seconds ago that was underwater. So that's kind of the game right now, is we're trying to not let it sink again, and then also make sure that we're pumping out more water than is what is pumping in. So it's going though. All right, we are getting to the point now where we're very slowly but surely getting the boat pumped out. We're beating whatever leak is putting water back in. Obviously, I've talked about the separate sections, but it's time to get our hands dirty. We got to help them as much as we can to access where we think it's leaking, find out where the water's coming in, and start to do what we can do. It's really promising. I mean, all this is just like a little bit of mud here and there. It really doesn't look that bad. Like, I feel like with the good pressure washing, like the boat would look good as new again. So that's promising, but I'm happy. We're gonna get our hands dirty and we're getting down to work. We're gonna start pulling off the furniture so we can open up the rear hatches. Well, this is my first time on the boat. Poor Holly screens. Those are so hard to get. Oh man. We're sorry. Well, we're starting to get things opened up. Look for the source of the leak, which we're not seeing. Just really, really sad, really cool engines. They're one pressure wash away though from being awesome again. We're gaining ground back here. We are lifting the back of the boat up, but we're not finding where the water is coming in from. Okay, we're starting to clean out the cabin area. This is all of our cushions, and they weigh a ton because they're basically the type of foam that they were took on water and became a sponge. So it's like full water. So we got those out and we got those drying out. The boat's starting to come up and we're still not seeing exactly where the leak is coming from. There are still, float bags on this side, and there are 3,500 pound lifting weight foam blocks still under here. It's going to be very interesting though. We're about to get the last exhaust out of the water, which then, other than our through holes for our raw water pumps, means the engine bay is sealed off from the rest of the world, as far as I know, as far as what I know about the boat. But it's interesting. We're getting a lot of water pumped out of here really fast, and it's getting close. We're just hoping to hurry up and find where it's leaking from so we can start working on a solution for plugging it. Oh, it does seem like people are walking around inside. Oh, wow. Got a lot of water out of there really fast.
Some nice white vans.
Oh, those are, what are those called? The boat shoes, whatever the hell they're.
Ferries.
Yeah. So there's bathroom tubing in this main section right here that runs right through there. And then there's a grate that actually screws down that I think there's stuff under that too.
Okay.
But I mean, at this point, I think we'd see water like flooding through here.
Yeah, I haven't found it. I've been looking in every hatch. I didn't see anything yet.
It's crazy.
Not enough to double those.
All right, guys, we have identified the location of the leak. So the raw water pump, you can see it just spewing water out right there. You can go ahead and keep working. Don't let me block you. Where's the hose? The hose is going to be coming from that side somewhere. Do you have that powerful flashlight? Cool. So follow my. It's probably this hose right here. If you see that.
Yep.
Yeah. Got it. And then once you shove that back on that end, we'll stop leaking. So what most likely happened was obviously the boat, everything froze, right? Ice got in that line that was full of water. It froze, it expanded, pushed itself off.
I might need a screwdriver.
Yeah, you're gonna need a screwdriver.
Flathead.
A flathead, yep. And then once it pushed itself off, then water started going through our raw water pump and sinking us. So we found the location of the sinkage.
That's a lot of water coming in through there.
Yeah, that's how the boat sank.
That'll do it.
That will definitely do it. So, luckily it's a pretty easy fix. Yeah, that's lucky, because it could be other bad things. I mean, these guys were telling me stories about other boats that had, when they sank, they hit the ground so hard that it fractured the rest of the hull of the boat and stuff, could really total it out. So we know at least that's one of the spots it was sinking from, but that makes us a lot more comfortable, which is continuing to pump all the water out of the boat, and then we just keep a good eye on it and everything, and then we can start making decisions from there. Didn't think I'd be happy at this point, but hey, we got some stuff figured out. All right, we've got a lot of the water out of here. I'm gonna take you guys for a little tour. So start with the back. It's all good. We're starting to get the last bits of the water out of the engine valley areas and all that stuff.
What's spinning right there? Oh, that's.
I think that's just the pump spinning it. Unless we have another leak. It also could be water coming from the back, coming this way.
Yeah, there's drain holes in each one of those ribs.
Keep an eye on that, Oscar. Maybe get that toolbox out of there if we can, because
there's a lot of water.
there's like a lot of water doing some weird stuff down there.
That's more than what my pumps would be spinning.
Yeah, we may have another leak. We might have found another leak. We'll let you know in a second. So, needs a good pressure washing. But weird enough to say, I think a lot of this will buff out. Obviously, our Holly screens, those are most likely not going to work, but we don't know for sure. This is my first time coming down into the cabin area. So all of the little areas for the toilet system and everything like that, those are all flooded still, but they're draining out. Here's our electrical cabinet. Looks like a cabinet. It smells really good in here for some reason. We must have had some sort of soap or something in here.
It's just pulling all the water from back there. Yeah, so it's pulling from back there.
Okay, just got news that there's no leak in there, so that's really good. Coming through here though, looking pretty good. This door, oh, that door belongs on that side. That door belongs on that side. That's all. Not too bad. I can't believe it smells so good in here. There's my swim trunks and my bedroom. Very interesting. We are a floating boat once again. We're slightly to the side, but that's okay. You can see it looks like the wood is taking on a little bit of moisture, but not too much. This is very interesting for the concept of restoration. This did not do well. This paint job on all that, but wow. So very interesting, very interesting. So weird to think this was all underwater like just a couple hours ago. This whole thing. I have no idea what this is. Super heavy, full of water. It's like a box of something. That's really weird. No clue what that is. Microwave. Perfect. Fridge. Oscar did a great job. Still clean. Wow. Okay, going back above board. Yeah, that's split. That wood did not like that.
Is that pump still pumping?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that pump is fully submerged. Engine compartment is now pumped out. We're just waiting to pump out the rest of in there. One thing, there's one electronic thing on this boat I know for sure will still work. The invincible JVC head unit. I guarantee that thing will power back on. If you don't know the joke, that was left outside and rained on for 3 years. And then for some reason just powered back on and worked fine when we needed it. Wow, it's my first time being off board in a while and seeing it back where it's supposed to be. It's incredible. So let's see, it's low in the front still. Because they've got 1,500 pounds of foam blocks under the back here. But you can see the water level, so it's gonna do this. It's gonna kick back up, but oh my God, it's not sunk anymore. It's so weird that it was literally one hose clamp. One hose and one hose clamp sank the whole damn boat. That's an expensive lesson to learn. Question is it the whole boat expensive or, you know? Well, we started pumping more water and we actually found a secondary leaking point. So it's definitely not 100% our fault for trusting a hose clamp. I couldn't tell you right now. I thought it was, is it the canister for the filter?
Yeah, it's broken on the side.
The canister for the filter.
The canister,
Yeah.
the clear section is broken, yeah.
Okay, so the canister for the filter there's a clear section so you can see if stuff is flowing, and that shattered due to the ice. Sorry about the bad camera work. I'm looking at it at the same time.
Was that diver didn't leave already?
No, the diver's still here, but this is a above water problem. So we've got to build a straight shot piece of tube, piece of something with the right diameter so we can eliminate that from the system to get it safe.
And there's no shut off on that end?
The shut off will be right there. You can try it. I kind of thought it was too good to be true that it was just one hose clamp on one hose. Is that the same one that blew off? Or no, one shattered and the other one blew off, huh? So it's like one side had a failure point at one point and one side had a failure point at another point. You got to keep in mind too, I know a lot of you people are in the comments probably saying how stupid we are, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, should we have put a heater in here? Yeah. Was I busy putting heaters in the other cars that I have scattered around the state? Yes. So it kind of got like, kind of didn't think about it, and we kind of thought, well, the water it's sitting in isn't frozen, so what are the odds that it would freeze inside the boat? This boat was made in Italy, where the lowest low temperatures are so much higher than how low it got here. It got like 14 degrees outside here, so you know that's 8 degrees below freezing. It got us, it surprised us. So on one side we had a failure that I would say you could say we didn't engineer well enough our raw water hookup, and then on the other side you had just the part that came with the boat broke because it was probably not because this boat was made and imported from Italy, and it was probably not made to withstand such temperatures. Although it is interesting that that part has been on this boat for 30 years and it was up in Seattle, where I do believe it gets a little colder, but that's just what it is. So now we've really got to get this capped. We've got to get this thing capped. We're looking at ways. We're going to try and use the shutoff valve, but I think it's stuck. So if the shutoff valve works, then that's great. That just shuts off the opening for the raw water to come into the boat. And then if that's stuck, then the next thing we do is we cut off the filter, we cap it, we put hose clamps on there, and that'll stop the water from coming in the boat. Well, this is a tough spot. We're losing daylight. Oscar and I, it's like 6 o'clock. Oscar and I haven't eaten anything all day. We're losing daylight and the boat is still technically sinking. So we're going into overtime now. Everything's on the line. We do have a pump that is keeping up with the leak, but we can't just leave it overnight, and that's no long-term fix. We got to get a long-term fix in here. So we've got a lot of capping things. We're still working on the valve. The valve started moving, so we're hoping we can unstick this valve and just tighten it down. It's getting to the point of like headlamps, obviously, and stuff like that. It doesn't help that it is very, very, very cold outside. So, but that's the guy right there. We got that straight shot of hose. The valve right there is what we're working on, and then it goes to the filter, which is made in Italy, and that broke under the pressure of the ice. When it froze, it's really hard to see, but you can see there's a stream of water coming out right there. Oh yeah, there you go, you can see it. So that's the leak we gotta stop one way or another. So we're gonna work on this valve. Oscar's hammering on it, just giving it a little tap, and we'll see if we can get the valve to shut. That would be really nice. All right, guys, it's the moment of truth. We've got the hose clamps off of the hose. We've got a million different things to plug the hose. I'm gonna jump down there. I'll bring a camera with us. We've got to try and get this industrial grade hose off of that barb fitting. It's gonna be very, very tricky. We're gonna cut it. We're gonna do whatever we can do. We got to get it off before the filter, and we got to get it plugged. I was thinking we're gonna both need to like pull on that filter to get it stuck out. I mean, we could try that. You want to just try it first? I mean, usually, do you have a flathead down here?
I can look.
Because usually, you know, we crack it a little bit.
Yeah.
God, this thing's stiff. Let's try and crack it. So the big problem is also the filter is gonna hit this wall right here. So
Yeah, I think we do just have to cut it.
well, let me see if I can. I can't lift. Oh, I got an idea. Push with your feet. off of this, and I'll elevate it over the ledge. This thing is gonna cut the fuck out of my hand. Oh, okay. All right. We've caused a big leak.
My cramp, fuck.
All right, deal with your cramp. We're not leaking that badly, actually. This is crazy. Okay, I'm going full leak in a second here.
Where's the caps?
The caps are right there. You ready?
Okay, so I'm gonna get these props out of my hand. All right.
Okay. Well, I thought I was stronger than that. God damn this thing. Okay. Hey, that's a pretty good looking cap. How's it look? Too big.
Too big, yeah.
Okay, so.
And the little one is too small.
All right, the spray can to save the boat. Yes.
Close enough?
I think it'll work. I hope it will work.
Other way.
Fuck. Oh my God, are we really stuck between all these sizes?
Good, what do you got?
We got a big leak.
We've got a big leak and we're very close to a lot of sizes.
Do you have any? Well, you don't. Anything smaller than this, right?
Anything smaller than this?
Yeah. Oh, the can looks like it's working.
I need a hammer.
Hammer. Just careful not to punch a hole.
Use this ball out.
Gonna try that. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Hey, can we get the cap one that's got the screw in it and everything?
Too small?
No, it's perfect. Tap it in there with that hammer.
Further. Okay.
All right, guys, as you saw, hopefully on the GoPro, we managed to get the raw water filter undone from the hose. It took two of us and some kicking, but we got it off of the barb fitting. We've got a PVC cap in there and tightened down real good. So now I think it is time to turn the pumps off and to monitor. And what that means for us is go eat a cheeseburger within eyesight of the boat.
Yeah.
And we haven't eaten all day, so we're gonna go get a cheeseburger and watch the boat. And you know, if the no water levels change at all, then we should be good to leave it overnight. All right, guys, it's the next day. We just got done with a torrential downpour. Oscar and I are at the what do we call this? The Homeland. The
Bringer of tools.
We're at Harbor Freight. We're at Harbor Freight. A job like this calls for a massive shopping list of Harbor Freight things. So we're gonna head in. We're bringing carts. There's gonna be some zeros on this receipt. We got a lot of stuff we need to have the right tooling to be repairing this boat. All right, we are geared up. We've got a secondary sump pump system, basically a secondary bilge pump system until we get our standard bilge pump system back. That costs us about $250. And then another about $150 or so of miscellaneous things that are going to help us clean and work on the boat. Totaling about $400 quick run to Harbor Freight. And well, Kyle's trying to get some other stuff. Probably not going to get till tomorrow, but let's head out to the boat before we lose daylight. All right, so we're on our way to the boat, a little stuck in traffic. Check this out. This water is defying gravity. It's water that is staying on a hill and not going down the hill. It just stops right there. That's the craziest thing. That water is uphill. Seen a lot of weird things in Portland. Uphill water, weirdest thing so far. All right, we're back at the boat. It looks sad still, of course. Now, off camera, we've done a lot of removal of furniture from inside to start the drying out process of that. It's starting to rain real good, so we're gonna go ahead and get some lights set up here, start running some shore power into the boat so we can power some different things, and then we're gonna start cleaning all the mud off of things. And set up at the same time that we're doing that, we're gonna start working on setting up our basically backup bilge system. I feel like in the last episode, it didn't look very organy. It was way too bright and sunny and honestly a rare weather day. So now that it's absolutely dumping rain, I think it's It's a little bit more fitting of the conditions that we have out here. But talking about, so we're getting our like just a backup bilge pump system going in right now, and it's going to help us pump out as we're also cleaning and putting fresh water back into the boat too as well. I did want to mention though, a lot of people commented, our last episode just came out a few hours ago, and they're commenting about the bilge pumps. Why didn't the bilge pumps do anything? What we saw on a lot of boats in the marina is that the bilge pumps froze. If there's they have very, very finicky like little triggers on them, and they just, if any level of moisture is all it took, and it just froze the bilge pumps. So that happened to quite a few people. Over 20 boats in the area sank. So the guys that just pulled out our boat yesterday, they're working all week long pulling out boats from all over the area. So there's absolutely a ton of boats. We're not the only one that this happened to. And anybody that watches, I should know that obviously we wouldn't pull an insurance scam. That would be scamming ourselves, because I lost a ton of money in this process. So just wanted to kind of address that a little bit. But we're on to it now. We've got our Harbor Freight rain gear on. It's actually, for $10, it's definitely worth it.
Oh yeah.
The sizes run small though, like China small. All this mud right here, we're gonna start working on getting rid of this. So we're gonna get pumps down below, because the water is gonna drain to down below. And we're gonna start just spraying things down. This is gonna be quite a transformation area, because all of this that you see behind me, that is gonna look close to clean by the time we're done spraying. So let's get to it. All right, guys. Well, Oscar is above deck. I just want to give you guys a rundown on kind of, after we've had a night to sleep on it, I was thinking about this this system here. So this is our raw water system. Allows water to come into the boat through here, goes through here, and then it goes into the filter. That's the thing you saw us, yank off of there, because the filter had a crack in the glass housing. So two separate systems. You can think of them completely independently. One goes to each engine, and they are completely independent of each other. The raw water goes into the heat exchangers over there in the engine to help cool the engine, and then it goes out through these exhaust tubes to help muffle the exhaust and to get it back out of the boat. So one of the system failure points was right there on our water pump. The hose clamp, we didn't double hose clamp it, which you should do with marine stuff, double hose clamp. So that could have been an issue. I think there's not enough neck on there to double hose clamp it. So we could fabricate a longer neck going onto the raw water pump, but what would happen if that hose probably didn't pop is exactly what happened on this one. So the next failure point then back off of those raw water pumps, the next failure point is that the raw water filters will freeze and break. So when you think about it, then as we go up the system, you have all these hoses that are a vulnerability. The water pump itself could freeze and break in half. Then as you get into the heat exchanger, it could freeze and it could break. With enough low temperatures, all of this stuff through here will freeze and break eventually. So what we learned from this is, yes, we're gonna beef up the connections on that water pump. And we're gonna fix our raw water filters, either by replacing them or just fixing the glass part. But really the idea is not here to try and bulletproof this whole system to be able to be full of ice. The idea is to make sure that this system does not ever get full of ice again. So similar to how in winter, everybody here in Portland was running their faucets. They were letting their faucets drip, and you're keeping water going through the tubes and the pipes. Similar to that, or my parents, they have a well on their property, so you keep a heater inside your well, your pump house, to make sure that doesn't all freeze. And you can keep getting water to your house. That's kind of the idea here, is that this engine compartment and the front of the boat, it needs a heater on it that we could either run on a clock, or we could just, we just come out to the boat and turn it on when the temperatures get freezing. We definitely did think about the boat during the storm and think, oh, we should go out there and look at it. But we also, you have to keep in mind, we have a lot of cars that are in different states of repair. We don't just have the cars that you've seen on the channel. We have cars that you haven't seen, and to be quite honest, we were thinking about those first, because the boat was sitting in water that wasn't frozen. So we were really thinking about breaking engine blocks before the boat. But obviously my understanding of thermodynamics is not what it should be, and the boat was in danger, and we just didn't know that. So moving forward, beefing up the raw water system, yes, but also heating the boat in the winter, yeah. Look at that transformation. Everything looks nice and clean. It's cleaning up very, very well. Looks just like before the boat sank up here. Obviously, this is the easy part. Everything's got gel coat on it. We just spray it down, get the mud off of it. I am really curious how much of our Holly stuff is going to continue to work. If our screens are going to work, I mean, they should. They say don't pressure wash them. We've got our relay blocks down there. I got to order a replacement set of those because they say don't pressure wash them. So those are definitely toast. But the ECUs were completely powered down-ish. I think they have standby power. I think they have direct-to-battery standby power, so I'm not 100% sure, but that'll be interesting to see. Those sometimes you can put in like an engine bay and stuff like that, so I don't know if they're built to be waterproof or not, but it's cleaning up quite nicely. We're working on getting a dehumidifier. The store did not have any today, so we're going to get a dehumidifier tomorrow, and we'll start dehumidifying the cabin and working on that more. Whew. All right, guys, just got home. Man, the last 24, 48 hours have been such a whirlwind, and it's really fun work right now. It's obviously very cold, very rainy, very wet, but it's fun work because we're seeing so much progress. So I'm really enjoying this this part of the process. I'm excited to see and start learning more about where the boat is at right now. In the next episode, we're gonna be testing electrical and seeing and just looking for the extent of all the damages, and then start replacing things and seeing how far we can get. I know that we're gonna have a big issue or a stopping point where we may have to pull the boat out of the water no matter what around the fuel systems, unless there's anybody around here that does some sort of emergency like fuel pump out, marine fuel pump out thing. If you do, contact me, but I don't know if that exists. If we could drain our fuel tanks and replace the fuel in them, or just drain our fuel tanks, I mean, then we could actually, which we cannot do in our marina, so we'd have to get the boat outside the marina. Then we might be able to fix this whole boat without getting it out of the water, but very first, we got to figure out what's the state of the electrical system, how much of it is gonna survive this sinkage. It was underwater for 3 days, so we're gonna find out. It's exciting stuff. So I hope you join us for the next episode. Thank you guys all so much for all of the support. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!